along with Phil Simms and Armin Katayan. First time these two teams met, Phil, a one-point game. There's no reason to believe it won't be tight this time around.
You expect it to be tight. I expect it to be high scoring. Both offenses, they have a chance to move the ball against each other's defense, and let's go.
Oakland won the toss, they receive. And from the 12 is Napoleon Kaufman. Runs into traffic and comes out of bounds just short of the 25-yard line. So Rich Gannon will get things started for the Oakland offense. Not wearing the cast he's been wearing the last several weeks on a broken left hand or left wrist. You see his numbers on the season. A mobile quarterback, throws well on the run.
Doing a good job. Hurt his right quadricep last week. Got through the week of practice pretty good. Says he feels good physically for this game today.
Tyrone Wheatley. Side across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Sean Springs and Chad Brown with the tackle.
When you look at this Raider offense, it can do it all. They're running the ball well. They're throwing it well. When they run it, they can do it with speed, with Napoleon Kaufman. And when they want the power, there's Tyrone Wheatley, Rich Gannon throwing it well, Tim Brown catching it. And, Greg, you said it. They got a mobile quarterback. So this West Coast offense, John Gruden's offense, it's about as good as it's been since he's been here.
Wheatley and Ritchie in the backfield. And Gannon going to throw into the flat. It is complete to Ritchie out of the backfield. Out to the 30-yard line. And we welcome those of you who have been watching the game between the New York Jets and the New York Giants. The Giants winning it by a score of 41-28. Along with Phil Simms and Armin Katayan, Greg Gumbel here in Oakland.
Was that a misprint, 41-28? You sure? Because, that neither one of those offenses have been lighting it up, so very surprised to see that many points.
Gannon, Minolata, complete and out of bounds across the 45 to the 47 is Tim Brown.
Tim Brown against Chris Candy. Watch what he does. He takes off, goes right down the line of scrimmage, and uses his other receiver, James Jett. Just gets in the way just enough to make Chris Candy hesitate. Perfect throw by Rich Gannon.
Tim Brown closing in on another 1,000-yard season as you look at his numbers.
When you see Tim Brown, you're covering him. Your biggest concern is he's always going to run across the middle. So when he goes outside, it catches you by surprise.
Brown comes in motion. The give straight up the middle to Wheatley. And Wheatley across midfield to about the 48-yard line of the Seattle Seahawks. A look at the Oakland offense. Tackle to tackle. Mo Collins, Steve Wisniewski, Barrett Robbins, Barry Sims, and big Lincoln Kennedy at right tackle. In the backfield, Napoleon Kaufman and John Ritchie. Tim Brown and James Jett, the receivers, and the blossoming Ricky Dudley at tight end. Now it's Wheatley and Ritchie in the backfield on 2nd and 5. Gannon will throw with all kinds of time over the middle. It's complete across the 40 to Tim Brown to about the 37-yard line. Take a look at the Seahawk defense for Mike Holmgren here today. Michael Sinclair, Riddick Parker in place of Sam Adams, Cortez Kennedy, and Philip Daniels. The linebackers are Darren Smith, Anthony Simmons, and Chad Brown. On the corners, Willie Williams and Sean Springs, Jay Bellamy and Kerry Joseph are the safeties. Kaufman and Ritchie in the I formation behind Gannon. This is Napoleon Kaufman. Can't go outside. Philip Daniels is there.
I look at this Seattle defense, Greg. I think the key for them today is, just talking to Mike Holmgren last night, the up front people, the front four, have got to find a way to get pressure on Rich Gannon. Because if you don't, the wide receivers, the formations, that's going to create open spaces down the field. Then you put in Rich Gannon's mobility, makes it awfully hard to stop this offense.
Kaufman lone back in the backfield. Gannon steps up, throws. That's complete inside the 30 to 26-yard line is Tim Brown, and that's enough for another first down. And we welcome those of you who've been watching the game between the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore chalking up a 41-14 win over Tennessee.
I think Baltimore, they'd like to start the season over again because their defense has been spectacular for about the last 5 or 6 weeks, and now the offense coming around.
Tim Brown with 3 catches for 41 yards already here today has just recorded his 7th straight 1,000-yard season. This is Wheatley. Room to run on the left side, breaks it outside, and was pulled down by Willie Williams on a saving tackle. That looked like big yardage.
Well, it sure did, but you can see why the Raiders are so tough. Tim Brown going across the middle, Tim Brown going outside, and now they just do it with power. John Ritchie, nice block inside, and Tyrone Wheatley looks like he's gone. Willie Williams makes a saving tackle. But if you watch the films and you study this Oakland Raider offense, it's got it all working. Everything is clicking. It's just you're John Gruden. You're going, well, what do I call now? Because it all looks good.
2nd and 6. Pass complete inside the 10 to the 9-yard line is tight end Ricky Dudley.
And one of the reasons it's bringing this offense to a new level, making it so diverse, the tight end Ricky Dudley going to come across the screen. Well, I'm sorry, there he is down at the bottom. Breaks out. Perfect throw by Rich Gannon. And Ricky Dudley, what a target he makes down the field. 6'6", 250. He can run, and now he's catching the ball consistently when it's thrown to him.
Finally producing for them. This in his 4th year, the former first-round draft pick out of Ohio State. Gannon gives to Wheatley. Wheatley back over the middle, inside the 5 to about the 2-yard line. Chad Brown, Perry Joseph with the tackle there.
Well, impressive opening drive, and you look at this, you look at the Raiders. Think about how they've lost their last 2 games. On a Monday night to the Denver Broncos, last week against the Kansas City Chiefs when they had a 14-point lead in the 4th quarter. But John Gruden says, we had a really terrific work week this week. The players are upbeat. They believe in what they're doing. They think they're going in the right direction. Well, it shows so far today.
Ritchie and Crockett in the backfield. Crockett, short of the end zone, stopped at about the half-yard. James Willis, number 95, delivering a big hit for Seattle.
You know what I like about the Raiders, too, their offense, Greg, that's changed. Everybody's involved now. You know, the running backs, there's Crockett, you know, Napoleon, Tyrone Wheatley, the wide receivers, the tight end, and it's, well, listen, so the element of surprise is the best thing you can have as an offense. So when you have that many weapons, it makes you productive.
3rd and goal. Crockett. No touchdown signal yet from an official. Darren Smith, Chad Brown on the stop. And onto the field comes the field goal unit.
Well, I'm surprised. I know you want to get points on the board, but this is about 6 inches. Well, let's take that back. It's about 1 inch from the goal line. I look at a situation like this. There you go, 6 inches. I was right the first time. Even if you didn't make it, it would make it so hard for the Seattle offense to come out from that end zone.
Michael Husted from 18 yards out. And it's good. So a fine drive by the Raiders comes up shy of a touchdown, but the Raiders put 3 on the board and lead it 3-0. Gannon 5 of 5 for 57 yards on that 13-play, 75-yard drive. And now Husted set to kick it away to number 30, Amon Green, and number 19, Fabian Bowens. This is Green from the 4. The 20, 25 falls forward across the 27 to the 28-yard line. That's where John Kitno will go to work when we come back to Oakland right after this.
This is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. And by the new redesigned Saturday series.
Welcome back to Oakland, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms. Always interesting to see how a team is going to react when they take the field, and they have to win a football game. The Raiders looked like it on the opening drive.
Hey, Greg, desperation is a great thing in this league. It always is. So the Raiders came out. They showed that sense of urgency. They got down inside the 1 yard line. Little surprised they didn't go for the touchdown, but the way it's been going for John Gruden, he says, I'll take the 3 for sure.
John Kitna, Seattle quarterback. 2,085 yards on the season, and getting up slowly off of the ground is Reggie Brown, the blocking back for the Seattle Seahawks, and he's being helped off the field. Brown, fourth-year man out of Fresno State, and he'll be replaced by Max Strong. Here's Mike Holmgren. Had a pleasant chat with him yesterday.
Oh, it was great. I like talking to coaches when they're open like he was, because you come out and you go, well, I learned something about him, the team, and he taught me a little football. So it's a good visit.
Waters in motion, quick pass over the middle, juggled and dropped by Strong, incomplete. Seattle's offensive line, Walter Jones, Pete Kendall, Chris Gray, Brian Habib, and Grant Williams. Ricky Waters, you saw Reggie Brown just hobble off the field, replaced by Strong. Derek Mays and Sean Dawkins, the wide receivers, and the tight end is Christian Foria. And now Joey Galloway onto the field as a third wide receiver. On third down, Kitna, deep drop, throwing deep down the field. It is incomplete. Intended for Galloway.
John Kitna fortunate there. That ball got away from him, and he's lucky it went high. And usually anytime you throw a football that goes high down the middle of the field, it's an interception. And Anthony Newman, number 30, just missed it.
So the Seahawks go 3 and out on their first offensive series. And back deep is Darian Gordon. Jeff Fiegels kicks it away. Gordon will pull it in from his 27 and immediately brought down. Fabian Bowens, number 19, 44-yard punt and no return. Rich Gannon, the quarterback for the Raiders, I guess you'd say he's on a roll. He's 5 out of 5 so far here today. Completed the last 5 passes last week. 10 in a row.
So what do you tell me? Spell it out.
That he's rolling.
He is hot. Rich Gannon.
See what happened on each team's respective opening drive. Napoleon Kaufman alone back in the backfield, and Gannon shouts to his receivers on each side of the 4 wide receivers. Quick drop. Going to loft it down the sideline. Has his man complete. James Jett out of bounds. Make that 11 straight completions for Gannon.
Well, what we're seeing so far is the Oakland Raiders just giving a lot of formations and a lot of looks. And this time they spread the field, and they get James Jett one-on-one with Willie Williams. James Jett not making as many plays as maybe you would expect, but he still has that ability to get down the field with the speed and get open.
Ritchie and Wheatley in the backfield now. First down from the Seattle 39. Wheatley for a couple. And let's check for the first time today with Armin Katayan. Armin.
Thanks, Greg. There's a very special relationship between the 2 head coaches in this game. It goes back to Mike Holmgren's days when he was offensive coordinator at San Francisco. He hired John Gruden, who was then an assistant coach at the University of Pacific. John's first assignment was to input all these plays into a computer. He had a month to do it while Holmgren was on vacation. He slept in his car during the entire time he was working on this thing, came back, went with Holmgren to Green Bay. Both of them men praised each other as role models and great inspiration in each other's lives. Back to you, Greg.
All right, Armin, I believe Mike Holmgren described the car as a $50 Buick, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. That was a good story.
Gannon with time, throws, complete, across the 30, inside the 25 is John Ritchie. And another first down for the Oakland Raiders.
You know, Greg, we said it already. If you do not get pressure on Rich Gannon with these receivers in this system, he moves around, buys himself that extra time, and this time it's John Ritchie, the fullback, down the field getting a chance to make a second move. And John Ritchie, let's take a look at him here. Oh, look at him. He's all groomed. His hair's looking good.
He cleans up for the pictures.
He cleaned up for that photo. He looked good.
Kaufman and Ritchie in the backfield, first down from the 23. Kaufman, left side, across the 15 to the 14-yard line.
You know, you got to watch this. You're sitting at home. If you haven't watched the Raiders a whole lot this year, you've seen the first drive. You're watching this second one, you go, wow, they look really good. How come they're 5-6? And, well, I think they're wondering the same thing. A lot of people in the league, they have a lot of good spurts in games. They play a lot of good football, but somehow they find a way late to lose them.
Wheatley looking for a way, doesn't even get back to the line of scrimmage before he's run out of bounds at about the 18-yard line by Sean Springs.
There's Sean Springs, number 24. Jim Lynn, the defensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks. But Sean Springs, we were told, I noticed one play in this series, he did match up with Tim Brown one-on-one. Mike Holmgren said, Sean Springs could follow him all over the field, and I would do that. I would make the Raiders throw to the other receivers, try to take away Tim Brown.
Gannon popped up into the air, and it's intercepted. Kerry Joseph to the 30. Gannon to beat, and Gannon bumps him out of bounds just short of midfield.
That is that's a great example of why the Raiders are 5-6. Self-inflicted wounds. That's why we have 3-0.
Back in Oakland, we're going the other way. Kitna and the Seahawks from their own 47-yard line as a result of the interception. And Waters straight ahead over midfield, 45 to the 43-yard line. Let's look at the turnover.
Let's take a look at the interception. It's a little route where Ricky Dudley, number 83, going to be to your left, goes inside. You see him break outside. Watch the throw. Perfect. Head high where you can get both hands in front. Get your eyes on the catch. And I've said it so many times, especially short passes over the middle. When it goes up in the air, it is a quarterback. Just start running. You got to make a tackle.
Reggie Brown, who limped off the field on the first offensive play, the Seahawks, is back in the lineup. And we have movement on the offensive line. Let's see who's guilty. Our referee today is Dick Hantak.
I think that was Darrell Russell trying to sneak over.
Encroachment, defense, number 96. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Darrell Russell, he of the 8.5 sacks so far this season.
I'll tell you what, TV doesn't do this guy justice. His one leg is bigger than Greg and I put together. He is a big man, and what makes him special, plays inside, they're hard to find, can rush the passer, can stop the run, he can run. He is a terrific athlete for his size.
Waters for a couple perhaps to the 37. Take a look at the Oakland defense. Across the front, Harris, Maryland, Russell, and Lance Johnstone. The linebackers, Sam Sword, Greg Beekert, and Richard Harvey. In the secondary, the corners are Charles Woodson and Eric Allen, Charles Mincy, and Anthony Newman, the safeties.
The Raider defense, Willie Shaw, the defensive coordinator, likes to play it safe early in games. What's been hurting them, well, what's really been destroying their team, blown assignments by the defense, causing big plays.
Kitna forced out of the pocket, gonna run across the 30 to about the 28-yard line and brought down, chased down by Lance Johnstone.
You know why he ran so well there, don't you? Because last night he came in to talk to us. He comes strolling down the hall. It looked like he had his pajamas on, no shoes. I said, John, take it easy, relax a little. And he goes, wow, I feel good. It's the best I've felt all year. My feet feel good. And, you don't realize sometimes he had a big toe he hurt in the first game. He hurt the other foot, he hurt the ankle, the Cincinnati Bengals. And he's been playing with hurt feet for weeks. And now they feel good. Helps your throwing, helps your run, too.
Don't you hate it when your feet hurt, Phil?
Yes, I do.
The pitch coming this way is Amon Green, and Green breaks across the 10, and it'll be 1st and goal for the Seahawks.
Well, I noticed this. This is a game where we talk. Armin Katayan said the teacher and the pupil. When you watch both teams, they just come up with so many good ideas. 3 runners in the backfield. Amon Green gets it. Oh, what good blocking by the Seahawks, and he has the speed to make things work.
Now, I'm sorry, Bill.
I'm going to say Brian Milne, number 44, got a terrific block to spring Amon Green.
28 possessions in the red zone this year for the Seahawks. 12 touchdowns, 12 field goals. Kitna to throw. And throws it away. And a penalty marker. James Harris forced Kitna to throw it away, and he'll be flagged for throwing it away.
Well, we might have 2 flags. I don't know, do we? I see 1.
Kitna says he has someone.
Well, I think John Kitna trying to get out of the pocket. To me, it didn't look like he got outside the tight end position, and I don't think he even threw the ball far enough to get past the line of scrimmage.
So the grounding penalty is loss of down included against the Seahawks. And the discussion goes on. Here comes Dick Hantek.
It's quality time. You got to spend it.
Ineligible, number 62, offensive team, downfield. That penalty is declined. Intentional grounding on number 7. That penalty is accepted. That
Let's
is
see
a
if he
spot
gets
of the
outside that
foul
line.
and loss of down.
Nope, not even close. Well, it's just an easy call for Dick Hantek. You know, most of the time, when in doubt, they will not throw that on the intentional grounding, but that was not even close.
So a 2nd and goal with 1 second to play here in the first quarter from the 23-yard line. Waters breaks across the 20, down to the 15, loose football picked up by the Raiders. Darian Gordon across midfield, and what a turnaround. From 1st and goal, the intentional grounding, and then the loose football, and fortunes have changed. Waters lost it. Gordon picked it up. When we come back to start the second quarter, the Raiders are on the move again. Mind you, coming up on the NASDAQ Halftime Report, Jim Nance, Craig James, Randy Cross, Derek Glanville with scores and highlights from our studio in New York coming up on the NASDAQ Halftime Report. That fumble, Phil.
Let's take a look at it. Marquise Walker, number 38. Look at that hand on top of the ball. He finally gets it out of Ricky Waters, and it's a fumble, and Darian Gordon turns those punt, returns fumbles.
So the Raiders with 1st down at the 7-yard line as you look at Gordon on the sideline. Wheatley and Ritchie in the backfield behind Gannon. Quick pass this side, complete. James Jett. And Jett brought down close to the 35-yard line.
The Oakland Raiders, everything's working for them. 2 almost perfect drives, and they got 3 points out of it. John Gruden calling the plays. I'm waiting for him to make one of those faces. You know how he looks out of his eyes. It always comes a couple. There it is. Mike Holmgren says to us, you know, where did he get that look? My wife sees him on TV and goes, John's never done that. Well, when you're a head coach, you start doing some things differently.
Another 1st down for the Raiders. On the move is Kaufman. Kaufman to about the 33.
But you know, talking to John Gruden on Friday, we had a chance to talk to him quite a while, and he was talking about the team, the organization, but we spent a lot of time talking about Rich Gannon and his relationship with him, and he thought it was kind of neat. He thinks that him and Rich Gannon are really starting to get close, and he used a word that kind of caught me by surprise. He goes, we're bonding. You know, we're starting to bond. We think a lot. We like work, and he says it's really working out well. And he just said it's good to be around a quarterback who's such a professional, wants to the right way, and it's good for the whole team.
And he says they had to learn to trust each other, learned how to communicate.
Well, and he's still learning that. I'll give you an example.
And now timeout is called by Gannon. And we'll take a timeout with 13:37 to play here in the first half. We're back. You look at the bare facts on Rich Gannon, and he has thrown an interception here today. But the Raiders have moved the ball well. Brown in motion. Gannon throws, complete to Ritchie. Ritchie looking for the first down marker, and he gets it. The Raiders had 6 first downs to 2 for Seattle in the first quarter. That's their second first here in the second.
Well, John Ritchie, big blocking fullback, but really, like a lot of fullbacks now in the NFL, an exceptional pass catcher, gets out in the flat. That's the main route that they run. Play action fake, don't block, release out in the flat, catch it, and try to make somebody miss.
Philly's looking for a girlfriend, too.
He's always looking. You know, the best line I've ever heard, he goes, I got to hurry up and get married because I'm just getting uglier.
Tyrone Wheatley for a couple.
I look at John Ritchie. John, no, you're not. You're young, you're healthy, you're a good fullback in the NFL. You're fine. He's always can't get anybody to date him. I feel sorry for him. Let's take a look at him. But see, the headshot doesn't do him justice. I saw him, we actually had lunch with him at the Raider complex, and his hair was all over everywhere. And I was informed that that's just a new style. He was wearing a new style, so.
Napoleon Kaufman alone back in the backfield as Gannon throws. Kaufman. Turn the corner, diving, and appears to have another first down. Chris Canty forced him out of bounds. This game.
Every team would like to have a change-up runner like Napoleon Kaufman.
Gannon going for the end zone, bobbled, a touchdown! Tim Brown!
Well, sometimes you get a break come your way. Sean Springs, number 24, stays back away from Tim Brown. Watch what happens. Watch 24, Tim Brown, number 81, running against him. He sees it coming, goes in front. Oh, Tim Brown, nice catch.
Saw the frustration in Sean Springs, and why not?
Well, when you read it right, you react to it, you think you're going to make a play and it's still a touchdown. I'd be disappointed too.
Husted for the extra point is perfect. 11:41 to play in the first half. Fine catch by Tim Brown has the Raiders up 10-0 on CBS. Raiders kick it away. I'm on Green. Fabian Bowens deep. It's Green, a yard deep in the end zone to the 10. Doesn't reach the 20-yard line. Calvin Branch down to make the special teams tackle for the Raiders, and Tim Brown, being the leader that he is for the Oakland Raiders. For everyone except the visiting Seattle Seahawks so far, as Kitna and Seattle take over first down at their own 19-yard line. Waters and Reggie Brown in an I formation behind Kitna. Quick drop, quick throw, almost picked off. Incomplete. Eric Allen drawing a bead on it, didn't get a chance to hold on.
Well, that time short by John Kitna. Blitzed by the Raiders. I like this. Sam Sword coming from the outside. John Kitna has to get rid of it. The ball gets tipped. Almost causes the interception. Eric Allen almost gets in there and gets it. Greg Beaker, number 4, comes through with the tip.
2nd and 10. Another blitz. Kitna over the middle, complete. Across the 25, across the 30 is Derek Mays, and that'll be a first down. And let's check in with Armin Katayan. Armin.
Thanks, Greg. You know, Seattle was the site of some very public protests this week over the World Trade Organization meetings. In the privacy of the Seahawks locker room, there were some protests as well. Chad Brown told us for the first time in 3 years he found some anger and outrage in the locker room after that loss to Tampa Bay. He said before there was a lot of mumbling and grumbling. He said before there was a lot of goofing around. This time, a lot of mumbling and grumbling, and he said that's good. Winning is addictive, he said. Back to you.
You bet. Armin, thank you. First down, Waters looking for running room and gets a couple.
Well, what Armin says is so true. Losing becomes acceptable a lot of times in organizations, and that's what Chad Brown was kind of referring to before. The Seahawks would lose, everybody go, well, I played well, it's so big deal we lost. And now, hey, as the old saying, there's a new sheriff in town, that's Mike Holmgren. You're held accountable every single week. They're more organized. Chad Brown and the players, they can sense it, and that's one of the reasons why they're 8-3.
The sheriff and his troops had won 5 straight before losing last week to Tampa. And Chad Brown happy to see that the team didn't like it one bit. Kitna with time over the middle, threw behind his intended receiver, Derek Mays.
Well, I asked Mike Holmgren last night, John Kitna cut off a 5-interception game. Are you worried about your quarterback? And he goes, I'm always worried about my quarterback. And he said he brought him in this week for a little talk. Said, okay, John, we got that out of our way. The fans booed you. You played bad. The press wrote some bad things about you. Now let's just go back out there and keep working and do what we're doing. And when he says, I worry about my young quarterback, it's because he's young. I think he's starting to trust him, knows he's playing solid football, and he's a big reason why they're 8-3.
Intensely interested in how he reacts to that game last week. The pass overthrown and intercepted. Charles Mincy to the 35 and inside the 35 to the 32-yard line.
Boy, John Kitna, he double pumped it. He got flat-footed, really flat-footed for a quarterback. He quit moving those feet. Watch him as he gets back. And now he just kind of hesitates. Oh, and look how he comes underneath it. The second time today, that's why the ball took off, went high, and this time he's not very fortunate. Charles Mincy comes up with an easy interception.
Mincy with his first interception of the season, the second pick of Kitna today. First down, Raiders at the 35. Wheatley. Close to another first down, just a bit short.
I'll tell you what, they razzle-dazzle you with screens and they move people around, Tim Brown, and then they just come in there with 2 tight ends, Tyrone Wheatley, and it's just right at you. Michael Sinclair missing the tackle. Tyrone Wheatley, he has been a terrific addition to the team.
You know, it's easy to understand now why John Gruden sat there 2 mornings ago and said, yeah, we could easily be the ones coming into this game at 8-3.
I tell you what, Greg, as we got ready for the game, if I didn't know the records of the teams, I would have said, man, this Raider team is good. It's better than the Seahawks, but they haven't proven it on the field. Their problem is just mistakes. It's not lack of physical talent. They make mistakes on offense. They blow big-time assignments on defense. That's cost them many games this year.
Just saw John carry for the first down, a rare rushing attempt for Richie this season, only his 5th of the year.
Well, see, that'll make him more attractive out there in that world when he dates. More versatile, run, catch, he can do it all.
On first down, Coleman, big hole up the middle to the 11. And that will be close to another first down.
And this Seahawk defense, you know what? It gives up a lot of yards, and you're seeing why. Look at this inside. Cortez Kennedy, blocked by Barrett Robbins inside. That really gets it going. Look at number 63 over here. And Napoleon Kaufman cuts off of him, and another big gain by the Raiders.
You know, we were talking to Barrett Robbins the other day. He said, you know, these big guys against Seattle, he enjoys playing against them, but he says you can't lean on Cortez Kennedy or he'll go by you. Wheatley behind Barrett Robbins up the middle.
See, as I look at the game, the Raiders came out and said they did this. They kind of had them, you know, guessing where we're going to go. And all of a sudden they just line up and they said, now we're just going to come right at you. And what a display of offense so far by the Oakland Raiders.
Oakland, the second best offense in the AFC at 346.5 yards a game.
Who's better?
And it's showing already.
I said, who's better?
Wheatley to the 5.
You know, we talked about the Seahawks defense, Greg. Say, wow, they're so talented. I think the same thing is starting to happen to Seattle, and I think we have a tendency to overrate that talent.
Answer your question is the Colts, by the way.
Thank you.
Pass far side, complete, touchdown, Tim Brown.
Well, when you're going to play against the Raiders, you need somebody to track Tim Brown. Always in motion, always lining up in different spots. And I don't know what Sean Springs was thinking, if he had help or what, but you can't trail him 5 yards in this type of situation and think you're going to make it up and make a play.
Second touchdown of the day for Brown. This one a 5-yarder. And Husted to add the extra point, and he does. Coming up on 6.5 minutes to play in the first half, it's the Tim Brown show, and the Raiders are leading Seattle.
He's matched up against Sean Springs today 2 times, 2 receptions, 2 touchdowns, and I got to believe, though, looking at that last play, that Sean Springs was expecting somebody to help him out, and they were not there.
215 total yards for the Raiders so far today. Amon Green from the 5. The 25 and out to the 26, maybe the 27-yard line. Randy Jordan with the tackle. Seattle needs some action in a hurry. Well, you know, there are always some interesting sights in the stands here in Oakland, and they all dress up, and you know, it kind of has its effect on other people.
Look at that. Armin, I tell you, Armin always likes to join the crowd. He is hip.
He makes us so proud, doesn't
Yes,
he?
he is. I am proud.
He actually gets us through the parking lot after the game is what he does. Ricky Waters. Not much up the middle. Russell Maryland with the stop.
Well, I got a big kick out of Mike Holmgren. Armin Katayan told you the story. John Gruden basically was his quality controller, his assistant's assistant when he was at San Francisco. He asked John Gruden. I looked at him before he left the other day and I go, how nice would it be to beat Mike Holmgren? He goes, oh, boy, that would be sweet. That would be one of the best things that could happen to me this year. And
he has his guys cooking today. Now on the move, complete and out of bounds to Derek Mays.
You know, Greg, when you play this game, and I asked the same question to Wellington Mayer, the owner of the Giants this week. We were talking about a conversation about something like this, and he goes, there's nothing sweeter than beating your friends. And it really is something special. And you think, John Gruden, he wants to show Mike Holmgren, all that you taught me, I listened to, and I'm taking that knowledge, and I'm going to beat you with it.
We heard it in everything they said. We saw them on the field greet each other like they were long-lost friends, and yet, you know, each would like nothing better than to beat the other.
That's right.
4 wide receivers on 3rd and 2. Quick drop for Kitna. Kitna over the middle. That's complete for a first down to Reggie Brown.
Wow, and that was a really good job by John Kitna. Now, the last time he threw an interception, watch him. He's moving, but look, his feet move with him, gets him in really good position. Yeah, it's a short throw, but even when you throw those little short ones, it makes it a lot easier. You're much more accurate when you keep those feet moving.
See the numbers Kitna today.
Now, you know, last week against Tampa Bay's defense, 5 interceptions.
First and 10 from the 40. Rolls, throws this way, and it's incomplete. Talking about those 5 interceptions last week, and Kitna said, hey, I'll take the blame for the first 2. The others, they were, you know, under the gun and hitting my arm and things like that. He said, but the problem with the first 2, they set the tone for the rest of the day.
Yeah, well described. And yes, the last couple, you got to take some chances. I like that about him. He didn't worry about his numbers. He took the chances. He threw it down the field. Yes, they were interceptions, but I also like his mentality. He just came back. That's the way it is, and he handled himself very, very good in practice this week.
On 2nd and 10, Waters looking for running room outside. He lost a couple on the play. Brought down by Sam Sword, and we check in with Jim Nantz in New York. Jim.
All right, here's a play that's been quite popular for the Chiefs this year, Greg. Gerback, Gonzalez, and the Chiefs are now in front at Denver, 7-3. Let's go back to Greg and Phil.
All right, Jim, you know, there's another tight end. We talked about Ricky Dudley here. There's another tight end beginning to live up to all the expectations when he was first drafted and come out of school, and it's Tony Gonzalez.
Well, you know what's happened? It's a dying position in the NFL. No colleges use them anymore. and you need such a gifted athlete. You can't find them, you can't get them for the NFL offenses anymore.
3rd and 12. Kitna with time, throws up high, complete, brought down by Joey Galloway, and that'll be a first down for the Seahawks.
Boy, that's a nice play. Keep the momentum on your side. John Kitna again buying time. Joey Galloway on the outside, zone coverage. Eric Allen playing really deep, and boy, go up and snag it with both hands and bring it down.
Lance Johnstone says, oh, and this is what the turf looks like up close here in Oakland.
Feels good.
From the 44. Clock moving up on 3 minutes to play in the first half. Waters tries the outside, turns the corner and out of bounds for a couple of yards, and run out of bounds by Charles Mincy. And we remind you, track the stats of your favorite teams and players, and check out the NFL Insider Spotlight only at www.nfl.com.
You know, hey, we were talking about John Kitna, Greg. I like what he said. He says he woke up early Wednesday morning. His wife, Jennifer, is sitting next to him, and she looks and she goes, "Are you sure you want to go to work?" And I'm implying that he threw the 5 interceptions, and she was kind of having a little fun with him, and he looked at her and laughed. He goes, "Yeah, I think I'll be okay."
Kitna, quick one over the middle, complete to Reggie Brown. And Brown up close to the 35-yard line. Sam Sword with the tackle.
You can see the tempo and the pace of this game has changed, and I kind of like what the Seahawks are doing. They're making some plays under pressure, but as I look at this Raider defense, if I had one problem with it, I don't think they try to pressure the other team's offense enough. They got the talent. You got really good corners. Pressure the other team's offense. Try to create more turnovers.
Seahawks are not going to rush one here before the 2-minute warning. We come up on 2 minutes and the whistle blows. Kitna and Holmgren will try to figure it out. Coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report, Jim Nance, Craig James, Randy Cross, Jerry Glanville with all the scores and highlights. Coming up on the NASDAQ halftime report.
Hey, when are you going to let me start reading some promos? I want to do it. I want to help you out more.
Give me about 30 seconds out. You got one. From the 36-yard line, 3rd down. Kitna going to throw, tip, incomplete. Joey Galloway, the intended receiver, coming over the middle.
I think you're in a position here. Mike Holmgren going to decide if he wants to go for it on 4th down, but another good job inside. Lance Johnstone coming around, trying to create pressure inside, gets his hand up and deflects a sure pass completion.
So timeout now on 4th down, and Mike Holmgren going to try to figure out what he's going to do when we come back. Been very successful on 4th down attempts this season. 0 for 5. They are 4th and 1 here. What does he do?
Well, I think they're going to throw it. Mike Holmgren invented that pass with Jerry Rice in San Francisco, where they go to one of the slot receivers who runs like a little quick out, and they throw it to him.
And now the Raiders call timeout. And John Gruden with a little smile on his face. And keep the Seattle Seahawks as the only team in the NFL without a 4th down conversion so far this year. And a little chess game going on between he and Mike Holmgren. 4th and 1, 5 wide receivers.
You see the 5 wide receivers caught the Raiders off guard a minute ago.
Kitna going to keep it. First down as he dives inside the 35-yard line.
Well, that's a play that I haven't seen Mike Holmgren call much over the years. That's a Mike Shanahan, John Elway, Dan Reeves. I never got to run it, Greg. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Was there a reason for that?
I was too valuable. They didn't want me to get hurt. How's that?
That's the venture. That's the guess I was going to venture. Kitna going to roll this way and look and keep it again. Dive inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. Hit head on by Richard Harvey and Greg B. But you know, in a head-on collision, John Kitna's going to win.
Well, we got to talk about that head later on somewhere. I almost want to reach up and rub his head when he comes in last night. Got the shortest haircut of any quarterback in NFL history, but this drive, they need to get some points on the board to get some confidence going in at halftime.
12th play of the drive, the pass to Derek Mays outside. He gets enough for the first down and gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 57 seconds left.
And this is a nice drive they've got going. Is under adverse situations, some third down completions by John Kidna, a fourth down quarterback draw. He picked it up, and you're down 17-0. You can feel the pressure if you're the Seattle Seahawks, so they're answering here, and it's very important to them going in.
There's that reversal of fortune on this play, on this drive alone. Almost as many yards as they have the entire game. 5 wide outs again. Kitna, pump fake, goes for the end zone. It is incomplete. Batted down, intended for Mike Pritchard.
Well, you can kind of see that coming the whole way. The reason they spread the Oakland Raiders out, it made the safety split deep, but the ball has to be in the air so long that Anthony Newman, number 30, gets all the way across the field and makes the play. And also Greg Beaker, number 54, he was so deep, he made John Kitna hold the ball just a little longer than he wanted.
Nicely thrown ball by Kitna. Hit Pritchard in the hands just before Newman got there. 2nd and 10. 52 seconds to play. Seattle has 2 timeouts remaining. Another pump fake. Time, throws, out here. Waters to the 10, falls forward to the 7. That'll be 1st and goal for Seattle. And a timeout stops the clock with 42 seconds to play.
Boy, that was really, again, very well done by John Kitna. Looking down the field, I thought he was going to get hit from behind, fumble the football, and he forced Ricky Waters as his outlet receiver to pick up another first down.
First thing that you said to Mike Holmgren when he walked in to talk to us last night is, you know, when we talked to him earlier this season, he had a little question about John Kitna or not, and he likes the development that he's seen in him over the year.
Well, I get the impression that this is going to be his guy, that John Kitna is going to be the quarterback that Mike Holmgren is going to try to build this team around. And so far, really, except for last week, there would be nothing there to show you to think that he can't get it done because he's been consistent. Mike Holmgren was very conservative in his play calling early in the year. He's starting to open it up, and when he has, John Kitna has rewarded him with that.
And in all honesty, Mike Holmgren took much of the blame for that loss last week against Tampa Bay. He said, I messed up in a lot of the things that I called.
That does happen sometimes. Coaches get in bad rhythms. They call the wrong plays, and the players will suffer the consequences.
1st and goal. Kitna pulls it down, comes this way, and then going to throw it away before he gets leveled back to the yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Boy, a lot of good decisions that time. Nobody open. He almost throws it to Ricky Waters. That would have been trouble. Pulls it down, and then, oh no, get rid of it. And Lance Johnstone gets that nice little hit in there.
That's the 2nd time Johnstone has introduced himself to Kitna here today.
Well, that's what he is. Lance Johnstone, number 51. He is a pass rushing specialist. Relies on his speed from the outside.
6 sacks to his credit this season. The pitch for Waters. Left side, cuts it back. Touchdown!
Wow, what a run, what a move. And what a drive by the Seattle Seahawks. I'm looking at it like this game could be over the way it's going. And it looked hard too. It was nothing pretty about it. It was just hard work, perseverance, and Ricky Waters showing some speed that you haven't seen from him in years past, able to turn it up and get the touchdown.
Following Pete Kendall around the left side, Ricky Waters with his 6th touchdown of the season, his 4th rushing TD, and Todd Peterson to add the extra point, and it's good. 31 seconds to play here in the first half, and the Seahawks get on the board.
Well, Mike Holmgren, he was emptying the bucket that time. He was giving them everything, but watch Ricky Waters. It looks like there's nowhere to go. That just little cutback, just slightly, and doesn't lose any speed, cuts it up and gets the touchdown. And the Raiders, you see a running back running outside, you see the lineman Pete Kendall, 66, pulling out, you chase him, and Ricky Waters, the backside pursuit is not there.
We asked Ricky Waters last night why the turnaround in the last 5 games. He's had much better games than his first 6 games out. He says the offense is much more diverse.
The offense is more diverse, especially the running game. And I think the big key is, as I watch Ricky Waters on TV and see him on film, the fact that he's gone from about 230-some pounds down to about 220 He's faster, quicker, lighter on his feet, and I think it shows when he runs the football.
Remember, the Seahawks on that drive converted a 4th down for the first time this season in a 16-play, 73-yard drive. Results in Ricky Waters' 8-yard touchdown. Branch and Kaufman are deep. Going to skip down to the 15-yard line, bouncing around, finally picked up by Branch, and Branch up the sideline to about the 30-yard line. Monday on CBS. Celebrate the holidays.
I got a Christmas gift this week from you. That was very nice.
I had an one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll get yours soon and send it to you.
You didn't open it yet, did you?
Sure did. I can't wait. Well, what a good first half by both teams. A couple mistakes, but a lot of energy, good execution by the offenses. It was exciting to watch.
Terrific Raiders.
Yeah, it might be an understatement. Impressive. 12 of 13. The one that was incomplete was a perfect pass to Ricky Dudley. But as I look at the game, the Seattle Seahawks, they got to find a way to stop the Oakland Raiders. And if you continue to play what I say zone defense, in other words, watch the offense and react to it, you are not going to stop them. I think they're going to come out, take a few chances to get back in the game and have a chance to win.
Well, it's nothing new for the Raiders to be leading right about this time. What would be new is if they could hold on to a second-half lead for a while. From the 8 is Charles Jordan. Bounces off the tackler to the 30. And finally gang tackled at about the 32-yard line. Take a look at the statistics in the first half. Pretty much dominated by the Raiders. But look at those 14 points off turnovers.
Well, a lot of good numbers. Passing yards, impressive. Total yards, you're right, the 14 points when they got the opportunities. They did something with them, but also the Raiders threw an interception on about the 5-yard line. They failed to score inside the 5 with 3 tries. Only got a field goal, so Seahawks kind of fortunate to be where they are.
Big Seattle touchdown near the end of the first half got them on the board. Ricky Waters with the run, and we check in with Armin Katayan. Armin.
You guys should be reading John Gruden's mind. I said, hey, impressive first half. And he looks at me, he goes, been there before, done that. I said, well, the students kind of one up on the teacher. And he goes, hey, give them credit. They're 8-3. We're 5-6. We're the lowly little team here. And he's like looking at me again. He's got something up his sleeve. Back to you guys.
We know the look, too, Armin. That look has to be unique in the National Football League.
Oh, that's great.
You just look at it and you don't know if you've done something wrong or not. Kitten to throw. Pulls it down, now reloads and hits his man close to the 45-yard line. Tight end Christian Foria.
Well, what's kind of happened for the Seattle Seahawks on their offense? The offensive line has finally kind of gotten the rhythm of the game. They probably were a little shocked at first, maybe by the Raiders' strength and speed up front. Now they're giving John Kitten the time, and as you watch the game, John Kitten is finding his second and third receiver almost every time back, getting the completions and moving the football.
On first down, Kitten to throw again. This time going to go deep, has a man open, it's incomplete. Joey Galloway had it and dropped it.
Boy, was that a nice play by John Kitna. Looks down the middle, kind of fakes it, and here's Galloway on the outside. The safety can't get over quick enough because the tight end was going up the middle. And Joey Galloway, Mike Holmgren said to us last night, no matter who you are and how talented you are, you can't come in this league with these great athletes and think you're going to pick up where you left off the previous year. And, well, it's kind of shown so far. The 6 receptions coming into the game, only 1 so far today.
Waters gets nowhere. Gene Harris helped stuff that play.
But you look at that last play to Joey Galloway, Greg, that's really something the Seahawks need. They need a playmaker on offense. They need to throw more footballs where the guy can catch it and just score long touchdowns instead of having to work so hard, which we saw in the first half, to get a scoring drive put together.
Galloway's 4th game back after his holdout. And this is the kind of play Mike Holmgren can use Galloway's talents on 3rd and 13. 4 wide receivers, and Galloway is among them. Quick drop, quick slant, complete, diving, first down, Mike Pritchard.
You know, if you're going to play defense, and you could say this against either one of these teams because they both like to run somewhat of the same type of offenses, look at the defensive guys, how far off they are. When you do that in the National Football League or against the system that Mike Holmgren is running, that's what it's designed to work against soft defenses. And John Kitna and these Seattle receivers, they will continue to throw and catch until you pressure them and put some pressure on the receivers.
Kitna to throw again. Throws. And threw behind his intended receiver, Sean Dawkins. I think that ball was tipped at the line.
You know, Mike Holmgren, he learned a lot of his offensive strategies and things from Bill Walsh, who started this whole run of the so-called West Coast offense, and it's designed for teams that play zones, that drop back and look at the quarterback. And the talent level of receivers and the quarterback, you just can't do that anymore. They will throw and catch on you all day long if you play that type of defense.
2nd and 10. Kitna throws here in the flat. Waters. And Waters inside the 40 to about the 38, maybe the 37-yard line, forced out by Eric Allen. We started the day by saying it'll be interesting to see how John Kitna reacts to that terrible game he had a week ago. And he started off kind of shaky, but you have to admire the way he's picked things up starting from about the 2nd quarter on.
Well, I think Mike Holmgren said he wasn't worried. He knew the guy was going to come back. He practiced well. He hung in there today. It was rough in the early going. He got his feet up underneath him, and he's getting a little better protection and throwing the football very well now.
5 wide receivers on 3rd and 3, the 8th play of this drive. Quick drop pass complete. Derek Mays, and Mays has a 1st down.
Now this is something that has caught the Raiders completely off guard, as his 5 wide receivers. Willie Shaw, the defensive coordinator, I can't promise you, but I would say with certainty that they didn't practice against 5 wide receivers this week, thinking about the Seattle Seahawks. So, and when they've done it, they're having success with it, throwing it down the field and underneath.
Kitna, pump fake, throws down the middle, wide open, touchdown, Joey Galloway. 31 yards.
Boy, what a design that time by Mike Holmgren, and a good fake by John Kitna. Joey Galloway just going up the field. They're expecting help. Darian Gordon says, where's the safety in the middle of the field? He's on the other side chasing the pump fake by John Kitna.
Well, Joey Galloway dropped one down the far sideline earlier, right in his hands. Not this one. Todd Peterson. So the Seahawks score the last touchdown of the first half, the first touchdown of the second half. Joey Galloway pulls it in, his first touchdown of the season.
Galloway in the slot, go right down the middle of the field. Charles Mincy, the safety. Watch what happens. The pump fake. He runs over to his right. The middle of the field is wide open. This is what the Raiders, John Gruden said, this is what's been killing us. Blown assignments, big plays against us. That was a simple defense. No reason to let somebody go right down the middle.
Branch and Kaufman deep for the kick. From the 6-yard line, Napoleon Kaufman. And close to the 20-yard line for the return. We'll take a timeout and come back to Oakland on the far side. That John Gruden stare is getting a little more tense. Boy, that scenic tell you that we're in the Bay Area, and in the spirit of competition, what kind of a roar came up here when they announced that the San Francisco 49ers had lost at Cincinnati today.
Oh, you think they don't like them here, huh? Don't you tell me?
On the ground, Tyrone Wheatley pulls his way up to the 25-yard line. Chad Brown, the tackler, boy, was he fun to talk to yesterday.
Chad Brown, yeah, he was.
I still have nightmares.
Yeah, I bet you do. Chad Brown talking about the Seattle defense, but what Greg is referring to is he likes exotic animals, and he has a company called Pro Exotic, and it deals mainly in snakes. Lots of snakes.
I hate snakes. On 2nd and 5, throwing to this side, complete out of bounds. Jet. He even has a favorite snake. Chad Brown does. In Littleton, Colorado is where that Pro Exotics, he says it's a 6,500 square foot place with 2,500 animals.
Oh, you know, it does make you kind of like go, ooh.
You think?
And what was the one? The albino python.
The albino blood python.
Blood python, yes. He's got quite a few of those and explained all about it. And it was interesting.
Not much yardage there for Tyrone Wheatley. By the way, when you opened your albino blood python, how did you like your Christmas present?
Oh, yeah, right. But, you know, listen, I'll tell you the one thing I did learn from Chad Brown. He talked about Mike Holmgren. This is his third year out here in Seattle, and he says it was a shock to him to come from the Pittsburgh Steelers and the way they run their organization. He came out here and he's like, wow, they let too many little things go. And he understood that's why they're losing. He says, now, Mike Holmgren, we take the little things, the plane, everything is always perfect, even our field, the way it's mowed, it's done the right way. And he says that, again, all those things add up to being 8-3.
Gannon throws, complete. Ricky Dudley. Midfield and a first down for the Oakland Raiders.
Well, good job, good protection by the Raiders offensive line. And Ricky Dudley just comes across the field. It's cleared out. Tim Brown, when he goes through the middle, people pay attention. Ricky Dudley comes in behind him.
Tim Brown is a big reason why Ricky Dudley is playing the way he is now. The veteran kind of took the youngster aside and had a little chat with him.
Yeah, he did. It was kind of fun to hear Tim Brown talk about that chat. Now, Ricky Dudley is 6'6", about 250, the second strongest guy on the Raiders team. And Tim Brown says, I gave him some criticism, but I made sure I kept my distance when I gave him that criticism.
Kaufman, right side. Across midfield, forward to almost the 45-yard line. Willie Williams tripped him up.
Boy, that's a good job by Kaufman. Mickens, number 85, comes from the outside. Watch him seal. Boom, gets Michael Sinclair, and then Lincoln Kennedy. Oh, my gosh. Get out of his way, number 72. And Napoleon Kaufman can make people miss.
You know, the folks can't hear us before the game, but we sit there and we go, my goodness, will you look at Lincoln Kennedy just walking around.
The Raiders, they got some impressive-looking athletes. Both tackles, Lincoln Kennedy and Mo Collins, have to be the two biggest tackles in the NFL.
Quick flip, throws, incomplete and intercepted. Chad Brown. And now they say incomplete, that he did not get it. Let's take a look.
Boy, Rich Gannon, every ball he's thrown today, he's been perfect. Again, just maybe puts it a little too hard to Napoleon Kaufman, and nice call.
You know, there is a great camera shot. I don't think there's any question that that ball was dropped.
No, there's no question.
No question whatsoever. No reason for challenge.
Great, though? Is that overstated?
Oh, it's great.
Okay.
Could it be any better? 3rd and 5. That's Tim Brown in motion. Gannon, all kinds of time, has his man wide open in the middle of the field. Terry Mickens inside the 25-yard line. First down, Raiders.
Greg, we talked about it at the beginning of the game. If you want to stop the Raiders offense, you somehow got to get some pressure on Rich Gannon. This time the ball comes out. He had so much time to wait for receivers. Terry Mickens was covered across the middle, stopped, goes the other way, and then he's wide open.
Antonio Cochran, number 90, got a hand on that ball. Gannon still completed it to Mickens for the first down.
Boy, I tell you, Rich Gannon is in perfect rhythm. The Seahawks have got to do something to get him out of it.
Go back to Wheatley on the ground game and gets one, maybe two on the play. Continues to move as we come up on 6.5 to play in the third.
You know, Greg, though, we started the story and we didn't kind of finish it. Ricky Dudley, though, number 83, tight end. Everybody's been waiting for this guy to be like the tight end in the National Football League. And what Tim Brown went up to him and said is you got to learn to practice like a pro, all out, do it the right way, because you can't run half speed in practice and then run full speed in the game and think you're going to make the play. That's a different circumstance, and you got to learn to do it the right way. And he's really done that the last few years.
There's Dudley, 15, 10, 5, down to the 3-yard line. First and goal for the Raiders.
And you know what's happened? Because he's practicing better, it's coming on the field. And even Rich Gannon says, I got so much more confidence in him as a receiver now, and it shows. What an element, what a dimension to your offense. Look at that, goes over the top of the defender. And I tell you, that is one big target, and he has got the speed to make it happen.
Ricky Dudley at 6'6", 255. The 9th pick overall back in '96. Richie and Crockett in the backfield. Crockett to the 2, to the 1.
Greg, I think we kind of came into the game and we'd asked John Gruden and the Raiders, the offense, and when a coach and players look at you and go, yeah, we're clicking, or we got it, you know what? They really must be clicking, because all coaches and players try to downplay anything good all the time because they never know when it's going to turn against them. But this Raider offense is really executing at as a higher level as anybody in the National Football League now.
2nd and goal. Crockett. No touchdown signal yet from either side of the field.
Well, I found something they're not doing very well, though. Down inside that 1 yard line, they're just not running. They just can't get it in there. Let's take a look. Riddick Parker, number 97, gets under there and helps make the tackle. And I can't, but football looks like it's right on the chalk line. Let's see if we can see this side.
No.
I can see that there's a big pile.
Yes. 3rd and goal. 3rd and very short yardage for a touchdown. Crockett. Did he get there? No one has signaled a touchdown yet.
Well, there's so many big humans in there, I can't tell. But I want to see this. It looked like Zach Crockett on the top of some of his blockers and was in there. Let's look, see if we can tell. Watch as he goes forward there. Boy, there's just so many players.
Oh.
Here he comes. Now watch right here. Well, you know what? And
Darren Smith.
Your defense is starting to show major cracks. You can see Seattle's offense is really getting it going, and take a chance.
Let's go back to early in the first quarter in basically the same situation. John Gruden opted for a field goal and a 3-0 Raider lead. Here he gets the touchdown.
Well, this ball's actually even closer than last time. If you throw it, it's going to be a walk-in. Nobody will be recovering the receivers.
3 tight ends. Crockett. Touchdown. John Gruden believing if at first you don't succeed, try again and again and again.
Well, even if they don't make it, I still think it was the right call. John Ritchie gets in there, and what it is, it's just good hard running by Zach Crockett for the touchdown.
James Willis, the man who met him head on at the goal line, Crockett won the battle. Houston out of the hole by Aragus. And with 3.5 minutes to play, the Raiders regain a little bit of momentum. 24-14.
How close this is to not getting in. His knees are down, and you could argue, did he get it in the end zone before his knee hit? So close, it wouldn't be reversed anyway, but doesn't matter. It's on the board now.
Charles Jordan, 25, and down at about the 27-yard line. So now the Seahawks have to work on regaining some momentum. They trail by 10 here in the third. Armin Katayan and Phil Simms and our ace CBS Sports crew. Greg Gumbel back in Oakland. John Kitna to throw. Time over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Ricky Waters out of the backfield. Kitna throwing the ball well the last time they had the football.
Mike Holmgren, what happens? Christian Fourier, Mike Pritchett, Ricky Waters out of the backfield. Derek Mays, and then you throw to Joey Galloway for the score. But that kind of illustrates what the Seahawks are in offense. Mike Holmgren, he's told us, and they tell everybody it's about the scheme. Spread the football around, create ways for your players to get open. That last drive showed it.
Raider fans getting a little bit more involved here. Kitna throws complete to Brown out of the backfield. And not much of a pickup. A couple at most as the clock winds down toward 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
Well, if I was calling plays for the Seahawks, I know I'd still continue to be very aggressive on offense because, look, we're getting near the end of the third quarter. Your defense hasn't shown any signs that it can stop the Raider offense.
Average yards on third down, the Seahawks just over 6. They need 7 here. 5 of 8 on third down. Pass over the middle, Waters. First down, out to the 40-yard line, loose football.
I couldn't tell Ricky Waters saying he's down. I did not hear a whistle. I know there was no whistle blown, and nobody pointed to the ground.
Anthony Newman holding the football and saying, is it ours? And the officials are in conference.
Well, let me just tell you, since the whistle did not blow.
And still hasn't blown.
Yeah, that's good. Let's see what happens first.
Dick Hantak.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Building on the field. Fumble by the offense, recovered by Oakland. First down.
Well, let's take a look. Ricky Waters going to sneak out of the backfield. Look at the Raider defense, how far it retreats. And let's see if he is down. Couldn't tell from there.
And nothing but Raiders covering it up.
Boy, it's close.
That's really close.
It looks like the knees could be down. Let's see, here's a better shot. All right, Greg, you make the call. Richard Harvey, number 52, pulls it out. Mike Holmgren's going to challenge this.
It looked like that ball, to me, came out at exactly the same time his knee hit the ground.
So,
after reviewing the play stands as called on the field. It is a fumble. Timeout is charged to Seattle.
So Seattle loses a timeout. Each team now has 2 remaining here in the second half.
That's what this system is for. Mike Holmgren did the right thing because he knows this turnover could be the difference between winning and losing, so you can take a chance and throw it up there.
Third Seattle turnover of the day, and the Raiders have converted 2 of those turnovers to touchdowns. So the Raiders take over first down at the Seattle 41. Napoleon Kaufman alone back. Play fake. Gannon steps up, throws, and overthrows Tim Brown. And we saw, Rich Gannon is one of those unorthodox quarterbacks where he doesn't always come over the top.
Well, very seldom does he stand still and just come over the top to throw the football. Derek Walker, number 86, limping off the field, but we asked John Gruden about Rich Gannon and his throwing style, and he kind of laughed. He goes, sometimes on the sidelines, he'll throw a pass and complete it. He goes, I can't help but smile and laugh because nobody in the NFL can throw sidearm, almost underhanded, better than Rich Gannon.
Play clock down to 3, down to 2, down to 1, and they get it off. Kaufman to the 37.
Talking about Rich Gannon's throwing style, we said something to Tim Brown about it, and Tim Brown goes, I didn't realize he threw so sidearm and did all those awkward throws during training camp. He says, we're playing the Chicago Bears in the game, and I'm running across the middle, and I'm looking back thinking, here comes the ball. I never saw it. It hits me in the stomach, knocks the breath out of me, and he says, somehow I still caught it and ran across there, but he says, you just got to be alert when you're running across the field and Rich Gannon's back here because that football will come out from anywhere.
Raiders 2 out of 5 on third downs this game. Straight drop for Gannon, pulls it down. All kinds of time to throw. And now escapes the sack, gonna wait and throw to the sideline. Is that caught? It is caught. And a first down. It's an amazing play.
It was amazing because let me tell you, The Raider receiver got so tired, they all stopped. They just gave up. They couldn't run anymore. They changed directions 2 times. The Seahawks defenders all over him. Look down the field. Look in the middle. They're covered. Oh, now he's open, but he's under duress. Oh, Rich, it looks like he was limping, takes his time. Oh, and throws a strike. Ricky Dudley catches it.
Well, remember, Rich Gannon comes in with a sore quad muscle.
That was funny. I kept looking for somebody to break open deep. Nobody could.
Kaufman squeezes through inside the 25 to the 22-yard line. Simmons and Chad Brown with the tackle. 4 catches for Ricky Dudley today. 4 catches for the tight end, and all of them for first downs.
Well, they got a lot of weapons on offense. Wide receivers, Ricky Dudley, a couple running backs, a quarterback that moves, a system that does a little bit of everything. And I think we're just seeing what John Gruden is trying to get to and accomplish since he's been with the Raiders. This offense is showing it now.
2nd and 2 as we come up on the end of the 3rd quarter. And they'll keep it on the ground, and Kaufman tripped up just as he got to the line of scrimmage. And time expires. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Raiders 24 and the Seahawks 14. We'll come back to Oakland after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. 4th quarter lead. Against Green Bay, they led by 10. They led Seattle by 5. They left Denver by 3, and they led Kansas City by 14. It has been the biggest bugaboo for John Gruden this season. They lead by 10 here in the pitch to Kaufman, and Kaufman going nowhere. And you sit there and you listen to John Gruden, and he says, you know, we ought to be better than 5 and 6, and he's right. They should be.
Well, listen, there's a lot of reasons why you lose these leads, and you don't have enough good players. That could be one. Players blowing assignment. There's just so many reasons, but even Mike Holmgren said it. Don't look at the record when you're playing the Raiders. They're better than that. You got to play very well to beat them.
Michael Husted will try from 41 yards out. He's just 14 of 26 from 30 yards or more, but this one is perfect. So the Raiders add another 3 points. Husted connects, and they extend their lead to 27-14. Elsewhere in the AFC West, Kansas City is at Denver today, and they're tied at 10. And it would mean a lot to Kansas City, to Oakland, to knock off Seattle today. Bowens and Jordan are deep. Amon Green sidelined, we are told, by a hamstring injury. This is Jordan to the 20. 25, falling forward to the 9-yard line. Well, the 12 days of Christmas on CBS continues with your favorite CBS.
Paul McGuire's at the game. No, just good.
Kitna and the Seahawks from the 29-yard line. Screen to Galloway. Galloway, first down yardage, out of bounds at about the 42-43-yard line, forced out by Charles Mincy for 14 yards.
Well, I tell you, nice package of 5 wide receivers. Look at this. If you're going to play soft defense, what you do, you let a receiver like Joey Galloway get the ball in his hands, nobody contested it, and then you got to try to tackle him with his speed.
Clock continues to move. 13:45 to play in regulation. First time these teams met. A 22-21 Seattle victory at the Kingdome. Kitna throws, complete to Waters out of the backfield, midfield, 45, and another first down for the Seahawks. So 2 big gainers, and now the Seahawks offense is rolling again, and John Gruden is not pleased.
I know what he's yelling at is the offensive lineman for the Seattle Seahawks. That time it was Chris Gray, the center. He was out leading the way in the screen. He was at least 5 yards down the field before the football was thrown.
That's illegal, Phil.
That's what I heard. But you know what, the screens, a lot of teams are starting to hedge and cheat a little, get those linemen down the field a little quicker. You see it quite a bit when you watch games.
First down at the 43-yard line. Short drop this time. Kitna throws, tipped incomplete. It'll be second down.
James Harris got his hands up, tipped the ball, but when you see a lot of footballs being tipped, and John Kitna's had quite a few tipped today, that means either too much penetration defensive line or the quarterback is not finding those lanes to throw in. Sometimes you blame it on the quarterback. Move a little to your right, move a little to your left, whatever it takes to get away from people to throw the football.
Second and 10. The Seahawks go with 4 wide receivers. Mays in motion. And the give is to Waters. Lots of running room left side. 40, 35, inside the 35, and a first down at the 33-yard line.
Boy, Rick, when you watch this offense, then Ricky Waters gets that ball, good speed, moves with it well, and really, like you said, Greg, the last few weeks has played extremely well.
Ricky Waters says, you know, when Mike Holmgren became the head coach, I was happy to see his name in line for the job because he's brought in some discipline. Well, it just wasn't where it needed to be last year, and Mike Holmgren has solved that. Kitna down the field, complete inside the 10-yard line to Derek Mays.
Wow, what a catch by Derek Mays. When this football was thrown up in the air, this had nothing but trouble written on it, I thought. Watch him in the middle. Nice little out move. Now he creates space between the defenders underneath and the safeties. Anthony Newman, number 30, comes up and makes the hit. But you can see Derek Mays protecting himself, both hands on the football, knows he's going to take the big shot, but hangs on.
Mike Holmgren says he has great hands, great hands. The give is to Reggie Brown, and Brown inside the 5 to about the 3.
Yeah, we talked to Mike Holmgren about Derek Mays, and I said, how's he doing it? Because the rap on him is he can't run real fast, and that's going to hurt him. He goes, that's right. He doesn't run very fast, but he says he has great hands, exceptional. And he says he's really sneaky. He knows how to get down the field and find those open spots and make the catches.
At least once a day in practice, he makes one of those unbelievable catches. Second and goal. The lob, end zone, touchdown. Sean Dawkins.
Man, what a play. That was really a terrific looking play. Mike Holmgren going for 2. Really sells it out. Oh, nice job by Sean Dawkins. I couldn't understand how he got so wide open. You watch the replay, you can see why. And John Kitna, Sean Dawkins move. That's like a training reel right there. Be patient as a receiver. The more patient you are, the bigger separation you can get sometimes from the defensive back.
The extra point attempt by Todd Peterson is good. On the touchdown, Dawkins just freezes Charles Woodson. By the time Woodson recovers, it's too late. But are the divisional races ever heating up? Get a complete review of every team as they battle for playoff positions. Just click on NFL at cbs.sportsline.com. How's that computer coming along?
It's doing well.
And how are you doing on it?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I've been typing on it, typed some homework for my kids. Is that illegal?
No. Branch and Kaufman. 25, 30, and down at the 35-yard line. Let's go back to that touchdown.
Well, Sean Dawkins taking his time, showing some patience. He's rewarded with the touchdown. Good play. And not everybody's happy about that touchdown. Look at the face of John Gruden.
Phil Simms really not understanding what surfing the net is all about.
That's not nice.
Gannon going to throw. Over the middle, wide open. Terry Mickens. Mickens with a first down close to midfield. We check in with Armin Katayan. Armin.
Thanks, Greg. You really don't have to be a genius to feel the sense of deja vu on this sideline. The Raiders have been faltering in the fourth quarter, outscored by 25 points. I just talked to a Raiders official on the sideline. He said, all those games we've lost in the fourth quarter, you hope we get the strength to pull through on this one. Back to you.
All right, Armin. You know, you look at that man there, and you know that stare that you can get from him. He looks at you and makes you want to call home. Gannon to throw. Over the middle, wide open. Tim Brown, 40, 36, 7-yard line and another first down.
Well, the difference is in some of those other games and this one is you got to have more hope because the Raider offense not slowed down all day long. Tim Brown going inside. Look at that. Nobody around him. Nobody behind him. No linebackers in front. No pressure on Rich Gannon.
Tim Brown, 6 catches, 73 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. Has a reception in 104 straight games.
Look at those numbers on Rich Gannon. Jeez.
Tyrone Wheatley to the 33. Clock continues to move. We come up on 9 minutes and 15 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter.
You know, I think about things like this. I look at Rich Gannon, look at what he's done today, 19 of 22. And I've watched him this year with John Gruden. He's been so successful, done such a good job. And I can't help but think, I think this is his 13th year just off the top of my head. And am I right? 12th year. I was close. And I think, wow, this is the first time that he's really had a chance to be successful from start to finish in one season.
Pulls it down, throws complete to the 30-yard line, and now incomplete. No, they ruled the reception and the player down by contact.
Ball incomplete. No possession. Third down.
Incomplete.
There we go. He heard you were making the wrong call, so Dickhead, he wanted
that
to
happens
correct
a lot.
you. But here we go. Tim Brown, never quite gets, never has control of the football. Chad Brown, one of the defenders that knocks it out.
If I had seen that, I may have called it differently.
I saw it. I just couldn't, you wouldn't let me talk.
3rd and 6. Gannon needs the 27-yard line for a first down. Quick drop. Batted at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete.
No pass interference. Even if you want it, the ball's tipped at the line of scrimmage. Once it's tipped, you can hit the receivers. And what a difference. That time, did you notice it, Greg? They pressured the receivers. They pushed up the field a little against Rich Gannon, and they finally got an incomplete pass.
So here's Michael Husted. From 51 yards out. On its way. Looks like it's going to be short.
Oh, just underneath.
It does, under the crossbar. Hate when you come up short from a long distance away. Welcome back to Oakland. Greg Gumbel, Phil Simms, Armin Katayan, and the rest of our Ace CBS Sports crew. 8.5 minutes to play here in regulation.
Who's this guy Ace you keep talking about?
He's a very good friend. So the missed field goal gives Seattle some pretty decent field position. They start out with 5 wide receivers. From the 41-yard line, blitz, quick pass, it's behind Charles Jordan, the intended receiver. We said at the very beginning how many close games these teams have been involved in. Photo finishes. November of '96, the Raiders won by 6. In December, Seattle won by 7. Then Seattle by 1, the Raiders by 3, and then earlier this year, the Seahawks by 1.
That was pretty.
That was very nice, wasn't
Very
it?
nice.
2nd and 10. Waters dives forward to the 48-yard line. Beekert and Harvey there with the tackle, and the clock continues to move. So it'll be 3rd down and about 3.
You know, the one thing I noticed, John Kidney, he's got a good feel for this defense. Watch the linebackers of the Raiders. When he drops back to pass, if he sees them, look how deep they're going. Dump it off to the backs. Now, come up and try to make a tackle. Don't take a chance throwing it down the field.
Go 5 wide receivers again. Screen to Galloway. Look at the running room. First down yardage out of bounds to about the 47-yard line.
Well, the Raiders have seen this play enough today that you can see when it's thrown and they try to run this screen out to the left that they attack the receiver a little faster, and good blocking by the wide receivers and Joey Galloway. using that speed to pick up a first down.
We said at the very top of the day, Mike Holmgren said it's about time Joey Galloway began to get more involved in the offense, and his intent was to do that for him today.
Well, they tried so far today. He dropped one really big pass, caught a big touchdown.
Waters twisting over the 45 to the 44. Russell Maryland with the tackle.
Willie Shaw, defensive coordinator. You know, you get to the point sometimes or somewhere you got to decide what you're doing. You got to catch the offense off guard. So somewhere you got to take that chance, blitz, see if you can make the big play to stop the drive.
2nd and 5.
And here it comes.
With 4 wide receivers, Kitna throws the quick one complete across the 30-yard line is Mike Pritchard. What a fine pass by Kitna.
Really a nice pass and just good game planning by the Seahawks. They have found something that is really working. Mike Pritchard outside, just space between defenders, so the wide receivers have all this room, and John Kitna's putting it on the mark.
First down at the 30. Going to throw down the middle of the field, intercepted by Newman. 10. Out of bounds close to the 20-yard line, and that blunts the Seattle attack for now.
Well, John Kitna threw the football exactly where he wanted to go. The problem is, Anthony Newman, the ball stays in the air too long. He sees it, makes the interception.
Technologies, dreams made real.
Seattle turned the ball over 6 times last week, 4 times today.
6 times last week. 10 in 2 games.
5 interceptions and a lost fumble a week ago.
That's right.
And 2 interceptions and 2 today. Anthony Newman's first interception of the season. First down at the 20 for the Raiders. First down, Tyrone Wheatley. Let's go back to the pick.
Let's take a look why the football was intercepted. Joey Galloway going up the field. Anthony Newman never moves. Take a look. It comes down. He sees John Kitna looking that way the whole time. And look at the quarterback size. He looks at Joey Galloway the whole time. That is easy for Anthony Newman, number 30, to pick it off. You know, there has to be a little deception always, either in the routes, the quarterback looking one way, throwing another. That time, no deception. That's why Anthony Newman got it.
On first down, Tyrone Wheatley for a couple across the 35. You know, so much at stake here in the fourth quarter.
They can automatically win 2, 3, 4 games the rest of the year. It's possible they could go into a tailspin, and who knows who could win the AFC.
Hoffman, big hole left side, out to midfield, and more. The 30, bounced out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Sean Springs finally made the stop after a 44-yard pickup.
Watch Napoleon Kaufman coming to the backside. Good block by John Ritchie. Jay Bellamy, number 20. He misses the tackle, and then look at the speed of Napoleon Kaufman. Look inside, Steve Wisniewski, good block. Mo Collins, excellent block on the outside. John Ritchie, break a tackle, use your speed. Oh, and then if you're a cameraman, right to his feet. Didn't even, look, watch this. The cameraman doesn't even move, just stands right there. And
that's our guy, Pete Stendel, down there. Yeah, leave the camera. Those things are expensive.
That's great.
Meanwhile, Jay Bellamy is still on the ground at midfield. He is the one who hit Kaufman. Kaufman didn't. Armin, what else do you have?
Well, some good news for people. Chris Canty, they do say he has a concussion. I mean, that's not great news, but everything else is fine, they said. What is happening now is purely precautionary, I'm told by the Seattle Seahawks officials on the sideline. So the report is a concussion. Everything else that took place on the field, just preliminary.
from the 20-yard line. The Raiders, 1st and 10. They lead 27-21, 4:21 to play in the fourth. Tyrone Wheatley for about 5, maybe 6 to the 14-yard line.
Well, it's pretty impressive when you look at this Raider offense, what it's done here in this drive, what it's done all day long. And Tyrone Wheatley, he just fits in so nicely as you look at the offensive line. Steve Wisniewski, he's a terrific guard. Mo Collins, Lincoln Kennedy, Barry Sims, the other guard. This is a big, physical, talented, athletic offensive line. It should be able to do just about what it wants.
2nd and 4. Keep it on the ground with Wheatley, tries the right side, diving across the 10, inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal for the Raiders. How difficult it must be, Phil, especially for the Seattle players to refocus and try to get back to the business of the game.
Well, it's hard for all the players. Good, but let's look at the play. Good blocking up front. And watch Tyrone Wheatley when he gets outside. He lowers himself, gets down to the same level as the defender. That way, Merton Hanks can't take his legs out. He's able to keep us balanced and get a few extra yards.
Clock continues to move. 3 minutes to play here in the fourth. The Raiders looking to put the Seahawks away. 1st and goal. Wheatley at the 7.
Well, you don't take any chances if you're the Raiders. 2:40 to go. You're up by 6. A field goal puts you up by 9. Seattle has 2 timeouts. Now, Seattle's got to start determining when they're going to use a timeout to save some of the clock. So they know the Raiders have to run one more play before the 2-minute warning, and then you use your timeouts afterwards.
Each team with 2 remaining. And this will be the last one prior to the 2-minute warning unless the Seahawks stop the clock. On 2nd down, Wheatley to the 5. And clock stops with 2:03 to play. And now the 2-minute warning hits. 2 minutes to play here in Oakland. John Gruden's team leads by 6. On 3rd and goal, Tyrone Wheatley, and Wheatley tied up at the 6-yard line. The previous stoppage of play was a Seattle timeout with 2:01 remaining. And now we will get the 2-minute warning. Mike Holmgren contemplating matters, and the outlook isn't very bright right now. John Gruden has sent his field goal unit onto the field with 1:57 to play. And on 4th and goal, Michael Husted will attempt a field goal. We apologize for coming back so abruptly, but the officials called the timeout on the field, called the 2-minute warning, and then added time to the clock.
Changed their mind. They can do that too. But this field goal down, they're up by 6. This will put them up by 9. It almost puts the game out of reach for the Seattle Seahawks.
And it's just a short field goal attempt, but it is huge in the overall scheme of things for the Oakland Raiders. This will be a 23-yard attempt. And while we have a moment for those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL, CBS, and the game between Seattle and Oakland. I'm Greg Gumbel along with Phil Simms and Armin Katayan. It's a 27-21 Raider lead. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except in the Pacific and Mountain time zone. 23 yards out, a big for Houston and the Raiders. And it's good. The kick puts the Raiders up by 9 with 1:53 to play. And Seattle with 1 timeout remaining.
Well, Greg, I think you're right. Armin Katayan talked about how uneasy the Raiders are. 4th quarter, they've let so many leads slip away. And I've been watching John Gruden on the sideline. You remember Lou Holtz when he's at Notre Dame? He used to walk up and down the sidelines about 6 miles a game. Well, John Gruden has done that today. He is up and down. And I think a lot of it has to do with some of the ways they've lost, but also I think a lot of it has to do with the fact he's going against Mike Holmgren, the guy he learned under, and he made he didn't hide the fact that he really wants to win this game. That's one of the big reasons why.
Given a choice, whether he'd rather win it or not, yeah, he'd rather beat Mike Holmgren. So should this lead hold up, Seattle would fall to 8-4. Oakland would improve to 6-6. Kansas City and Denver still trying to decide things. Mile High Stadium in Denver. The kick. From the 10-yard line is Fabian Bowen. Breaks it outside. 30, 40, out at the 42-yard line. Kenny Shedd with the stop. And we remind you, coming up tonight after football for 33 years, the very next words after "you're under arrest" had to be, by law, "you have the right to remain silent." But that could all change tonight on 60 Minutes. Followed by "Touched by an Angel." James Earl Jones and Hume Cronin star in a world premiere movie, Santa and Pete. That's all tonight, and it's right here on CBS.
All right, we can watch it, because you know what? We're not going anywhere. We're going to stay here tonight.
You're a thrill a minute.
I hear you.
32-yard line. Kitna. All kinds of time. Look out behind you, John. Down he goes. Darrell Russell. Now 9.5 sacks on the season.
Well, Darrell Russell, you got the advantage here of just good coverage down the field. John Kitna looks around, can't find anybody, and if you keep hustling, you get some sacks.
Kitna throws this side, incomplete, intended for Galloway. And Charles Woodson was there to make the play, and Woodson still bent over on the ground. And now we're going to check out Woodson.
Couldn't tell what happened to him. He saw the football thrown. He looks like he's trying to, well, he's not looking. He's trying to go for the interception. Almost gets it.
Woodson, the second-year man from Michigan, has one interception, resulting in a 15-yard touchdown.
And this is a charge timeout inside of 2 minutes. If a player is on the field in a situation like this, your team will be charged a timeout. Charles Woodson sees the football thrown, dives for it.
Hard to tell where the injury might have come in.
Well, it looks like a little there, the hit.
And here's Woodson on his feet. A quick fan favorite here in Oakland. And you know, every coach you talk to, you're talking about the good corners in the league, you go, oh, and that kid out of is pretty good.
Well, yeah, you know what makes him kind of special, besides the fact he can run, cover, and all that, but he's a big corner too. You know, you meet him in person, that's rare. To have those kind of qualities in an athlete play in that position and still have size, that puts you in a category where there's only a couple of them in the NFL.
Seahawks 6 out of 10 on third down. This is a big one. Pump fake. Flips it back to Ricky Waters, and that goes nowhere. Russell, Maryland, was there to stop the play.
I think, Greg, when you look at this game now, 2 losses in a row by the Seattle Seahawks, this division race is not over.
Not by a long shot. 4th and 23. No choice but to go for it for Mike Holmgren and the Seahawks. Throws far side. It is complete, and that'll be a couple of yards short of a first down for Sean Dawkins. That's a 20-yard pickup. They needed 23, and the ball goes over on downs. (30-21), 47 seconds to play. Let's go to Jim Nance.
All right, Greg and Phil, with this game all tied at 10, Denver and Kansas City. Tamarick Vanover, with 5 minutes to go, takes the punt 80 yards for a touchdown to give the Chiefs the lead. However, they missed the extra point. 4:53 remaining. Let's get back to you.
Tamarick Vanover has kind of a habit of doing things like that, doesn't he? Gannon takes a knee, and the clock continues to move.
Well, you see it. This puts the Raiders 2 games behind the Seahawks. Depending on what happens with Kansas City and Denver, Seattle's lead could be 1 game over Kansas City, 2 over the Oakland Raiders, 4 games to go. Look out. You know, now you're the Seahawks. There's a little self-doubt that creeps in for the first time this whole season, and sometimes a young team trying to learn how to win, that makes it difficult for them to go out and get that done.
Off the 5-game winning streak, this will be a 2nd straight loss, and time will run out. John Gruden and his Raiders walk off the field a winner by a score of 30-21. Fireworks here in Oakland, and it's no wonder. Once again, our final score, Oakland 30 and Seattle 21. Coming up next on CBS, except in the Pacific and Mountain time zone. Stay tuned for 60 Minutes. We hope you've enjoyed it as well as we have. For Phil Simms and Armin Katayan, I'm Greg. So long from Oakland, California. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.